Rooftop Sports welcomes you to a special presentation of the National Football League. And good evening, everyone. This is the Rooftop Sports, and welcome to my league's fantasy football draft lottery, where, of course, I am going to cover the fantasy football draft lottery, and we got our friend Epic C Films, who is going to moderate and to make sure that there is impartiality in this draft. And Epic C Films, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm doing good.
Excellent. Glad to see that you are doing great. And do you have any expectations to win this season?
No. I just do it for the fun.
Yeah. And how did you feel when you were knocked out by the team Macaroni and Cheese last season that got me into the playoffs, but got you out of the playoffs?
Oh, I didn't really care. I had other bigger things on my mind at the time.
I guess so. And Epic C Films, before we even get into this draft lottery, do you have access right now to the top 10 draft players, like top 10 prospects for this season?
Not off the top of my head, but I could look it up real quick.
Yeah, go ahead and look it up. And while he's looking that up, we have 12 of our contestants for this season. We've got the following. We've got Alex, Epic C, Anthony, who is in this show, not as in like directly in the show, but he is watching. And Anthony, if you are listening to this, comment in the chat box. Myself, obviously.
Okay, I got the top 10.
Nelson. Then we got Max. Dan, who defeated me last season in the semifinals. Craig. Godwin. Jaime, Albert, and Mike. And Epic C Films, reveal the top 10 potential picks for this draft.
Okay, so number 10 is Punka Nasua from the LA Rams. Wide receiver. Number 9 is AJ Brown from Philadelphia, wide receiver. Number 8 is Justin Jefferson, and they are a wide receiver from Minnesota. Then we have number 7 is Jamar Chase, Cincinnati, wide receiver.
Cincinnati, yep.
Number 6 is Amon-Ra St. Brown, Detroit, wide receiver. Number 5 is Bijan Robinson, Atlanta, running back.
Running back.
And then number 4 is Brissy Hall, New York Jets, running back. And then number 3 is C.D. Lamb, Dallas, wide receiver. Number 2 is Tyreek Hill, wide receiver. And number 1 is Christian McCaffrey from San Francisco, and that is running back.
He is the top pick of this draft, and we're going to get started on this draft real quickly, real soon. But before we do, so some of you viewers noticed that I was doing a weekly fantasy football draft. Fantasy football recap of every single week. But however, because of like all the other content I've been doing, like NBA content, NFL content, Major League Baseball content, I didn't want to have everything congested. So I am going to put it as a members-only content for the weekly recaps. You'll still see the YouTube shorts once in a while when I'm reacting to things. But going forward, if you want to have access to the weekly recaps, join my membership for just $5 a month. So if you think about it, for football, that would be about $15 to $20 throughout the entire season. I'm not telling you to be on this membership forever. You can do this a month-to-month thing. So we'll go from there. But yes, if you want the weekly recap access, join the membership for just $5 a month. And now we are going to put all of these cards into the drum, and we will do this in a very standard procedural way. First is Mike. That's 1. Albert, 2. Jaime, 3. Godwin, 4. Craig, 5. Dan, 6. Max, 7. Nelson, 8. Myself, 9. Anthony, 10. Epic C, 11. Alex, 12. And also, before we also start the drumming, the results from last year was myself, I finished 4th place with that amazing, when I came back from a 1-6 start and then lost in the semifinals, humiliating fashion. Craig was 3rd place. Dan was 2nd place, and Albert was 1st place. He won his first ever championship, and Dan is now a 3-time 2nd placer. And now, let's get into the drawing. And you tell me when to stop.
Stop.
All right. We are getting ready for the 12th pick in this draft. And as... Epic C just went. Hopefully that he comes back. Flick of the switch, well, too bad. But we're going to wait until he comes back. And I will not touch the draft lottery cards at all. And we're just wondering to see what happened to the Epic C films. And when he's back, we will continue the drawing. Yep, technical difficulties.
I'm back.
What was that about?
Nothing. Okay, I'm back.
You're back. All right. And now he's gonna make sure that I'm not looking. In Epic C, you can see that I'm not looking at all.
Yes. And
okay.
Grab.
Okay. The 12th pick of this year's draft will be made by Max.
Okay, Max is number 12.
Let's see the script. Max, he placed 3rd in the regular season, but he fell in the quarterfinals to Joe by just 0.02 points. That was the game where DK Metcalf made that insane catch, which made it so that I was able to win by just 0.2. And that was on the Monday Night Football game between the Seahawks and the Eagles. So Max will get the 12th pick. And Epic C Films, make sure to write that down. Put it in the chat, please.
Okay.
And then tell me when to stop.
Okay.
But you tell me when to stop once you type it in.
Okay. 12 pick is... Okay, got it. Okay, and stop.
All right. Tell me when to grab.
Okay, and grab.
The 11th pick will be made by Alex. Alex, he had a 3-3 start, but would lose 4 in a row, killing his chances for the playoffs. Injuries also hurt his team badly. Alex is also a really good friend of mine. And now we're at pick number 11.
Okay. Oh, no, pick number 10.
Shall I say pick number 10? And now we are going to conduct the drawing once again.
Mm-hmm. Stop. Grab.
All right. The 10th pick in this year's draft will be made by Epic C.
Yeah, I love the 10th pick.
He had a strong 4-1 start, but then lost 5 in a row. Still had a chance to make the playoffs, but lost on the final game of the season, missing the playoffs, and that would be by yours truly. His name was Macaroni and Cheese, and he is actually in the chat group for tonight. He's the one with the Korean letters, Korean alphabets. He also competes in the WNBA fantasy basketball, along with Epic C Films myself.
And stop. Grab.
The 9th pick in this year's draft will be made by Joe, which is myself. Joe had a 1-6 start, but had a huge winning streak towards the end of the season, making the playoffs at the skin of his teeth, then made that amazing Cinderella run to the semifinals, only to lose to Dan and finished 4th place. But honestly, I think this is the most proud of a season I've ever had, even more than my championship season, because had a 1-6 start and then went all the way to the semifinals. There was a chance to be a champion out of a 1-6 start, but I will be starting the next season with the 9th overall pick.
Woo. Woo. And stop. And...
Actually, I have to redrum it.
Okay.
One of them fell.
Okay. Woo, 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 woo. And stop. Tick, 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 and pick.
All right. The 8th pick in this year's draft will be made by Godwin. Okay. Godwin had a 5-5 record in the regular season, but had a nasty 4 losses in a row, which killed his season effectively. He will be picking 8th overall in this draft. And the ones who are still in the survival are Jaime, Craig, Dan, Nelson, Anthony, Albert, and Mike. And we will conduct the drawing once again.
Whoosh, swoosh, swoosh, and stop. Okay, grab.
And now the 7th pick, the lucky 7 could it be, will be made by Nelson. Nelson, who won just 1 game the entire season, has still yet to make the playoffs. I'm pretty sure he had some perfect finishes, if you know what I mean. And once you put in 7 as Nelson, I will conduct the drawing once again.
We're good.
6 picks to go.
Around and around we go. Around and around we go. Here we go again. Now let's pick a card. So let's stop.
What are you saying?
I said stop.
Oh, and that one lucky win, it was against Anthony, by the way. And he was actually a playoff team.
Here we go, and grab.
And now the 6th overall pick will be made by Jaime. Jaime struggled throughout the season, including 4 losses in a row, killing his chances for missing the playoffs, missing by 1 game. So Jaime with the 6th overall pick.
Okay.
And now we are down to 5. And also, if you want to get more exclusive access to my fantasy football followings, please make sure to join that membership for just $5 a month.
Round and round we go. Around and around we go. Stop. Pick. Grab.
And now the 5th overall pick in this year's draft will be made by Albert. Albert, who finished the regular season as the number 1 seed, made it all the way to the finals and won his first ever championship. And fun fact, Albert was in my flag football team back in college.
Okay, got it. Oh, that anticipation is building. Everybody wants to know it so badly. Who's going to be number 4? Stop.
And now the 4th pick. As soon as he says pick.
Grab.
And now the 4th pick in this year's draft will be made by Dan. Dan, who is possibly my arch nemesis right now. but he dethroned the defending champion Joe in the semis, but would lose in the finals once again for the second straight season. And now we have picks 1, 2, and 3 to go. And Epic C Films, which should we take a quick little break or should we just get it done?
Oh, we could play your intro again.
Not my intro. I think a video that I could show, which is very cringe. It's a 2-minute and 40-second video. It's the one with the don't drink.
We could do that one again.
Okay, here's a very cringe-worthy video made by Epic C Films back in our college days.
Call Smith. Call Mr. Smith. Call Smith. Call Mr. Smith. Call Smith. Call Mr. Smith.
Hello?
I want to quit college
Why?
because I got a bad grade.
I'll meet you in 5.
Okay.
Why are you here?
I already told you that.
Tell me in more detail.
I failed CSS 162, and it's pretty unlikely I'll get into the major.
Do you really want to be a coder?
Yes, with all my passion. But I just can't get in the program, and I never will.
Why do you want to be a coder?
Because it's something that I followed throughout my life, and I really want to use this for a great opportunity.
Why do you want to quit?
Because I just don't feel the point of just wasting all away my money and everything.
You're going to make $1 million more in your lifetime than someone who is not have a degree. Also, most people in college stay in college now for almost 5 years, so they have most likely retook classes. It's no big deal.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. I will achieve my dream, and I'll work hard, because I will have the intangibles to do so.
Don't drink.
That's probably the best advice you ever gave me because I don't even think I've drank 10 times ever since that video. So I do thank you for that advice, although it was the most cringeworthy video possible. And, oh, boy, that makes me just want to conduct a drawing because of that.
Okay.
And I think there was an origin behind that. So went to this party. Yes, I drank. I didn't get drunk, but you were worried about me that I could have gotten to that next level. And I think if it wasn't for that moment, who knows where my life could have been. So you would accept that credit, would you?
Yes.
All right, now we're going to conduct a drawing.
Okay. Round. Woo! Faster,
And for the
faster,
picks
faster,
1,
faster.
2, and 3, we have Craig, Anthony, and Mike as the possibility candidates for the number 1 pick.
And stop.
And now,
Anticipation.
the third pick in this draft will be made by Anthony. Now, to know about Anthony is usually known for his second place finishes, but he fell in the quarterfinals to Craig, unfortunately. And his name was the Auto Draft. And Craig is also in the running for the number 1 pick right now. And now we have picks 1 and 2. Will it be Mike or will it be Craig? Epic C Films, who do you think it's going to be based on what has been going on?
Well, we never know. It could go in either way. And to me, it doesn't matter. It's not about what draft pick you are. It's about how you pick and who you pick.
And now we are going to conduct the drawing.
Ooh. Are you okay over there? Are you okay over there? Stop.
And now, the second pick in this year's draft.
Okay. Grab.
Okay, which one? I'm grabbing two of them right now.
Just slip one down and only grab one. Just let one slide out. Let one slide out and keep the one in your hand.
Okay. Say left or right.
Right.
The second pick in this year's draft will be made by Craig. Craig, who made a run to the semifinals only to lose to the eventual champion Albert. And Craig with the number 2 pick. I'm sure he's not happy with me right now. And believe it or not, the number 1 pick in this year's draft will be made by Mike, who is our chatting guest right now with a Korean name. And Mike, congratulations on your number 1 pick. And to know who Mike was for last season, he did have a tough season, but he did help Joe make the playoffs by beating Epic C on the final game of the regular season, knocking him out as well. So he knocked you out, Epic C Films. So I guess that's his reward for missing the playoffs and beating you, was him getting the number 1 overall pick. So Epic C Films, how do you feel about getting the 10th overall pick?
So there's 2 philosophies. So what I like about the 10th pick is that your team will be more balanced, because when you get the 10th pick, you come back around and you get an early second round pick. So your team becomes more balanced across the board. So if injuries ever happen, you don't have these big juxtapositions. If you have the number 1 pick, you go from 1st to 24th. And that's a big shift in quality of player. If your number 1 pick gets injured, how does your second pick step up for you?
I guess so.
And that's why we talked about, so like if you drafted Chris McCaffrey first, but then your next pick was like, someone way lower on the list, you'd go from Christian McCaffrey down to basically like a Michael Pittman Jr.
I see.
Wide receiver.
And in Epic C Films, do you have any expectations to somehow make it to the playoffs for the first time this season? Because it has been quite a bit. I don't think you've ever made the playoffs in our league.
Well, I've only done the league, I think this is my 3rd or 4th season, so I haven't done it as long as other people. So percentage-wise, I'm actually doing still better than a lot of other people. But my thing this year is just, I think one of the things I need to get better at is selecting quarterbacks.
Who was your quarterback from last season?
Gino, and then I had Jared Goff.
Yeah, Jared Goff, huh?
And Geno Smith.
Jared Goff was the good pick.
Yes, but like I sometimes would play Geno over him, and like part of the season I didn't know who was going to have a better week. You didn't know week to week because they played about the same.
I had Justin Herbert and Jordan Love.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you missed the playoffs by very slim margins. Yep. Yes. You were 6-8. I finished 7-7. Had you finished 7-7, you probably would have beaten me out. And in 2022, as the Epic C Films, you also missed the playoffs by 1 game. And then 2021, how did you do in 2021? You were not even in the league. So 2022 and 23, you missed the playoffs by 1 game each season. And do you think you have what it takes this time to get it done?
Yes, I do. I think I'll have a better chance this year and stuff like that. And I think one of the things I know I'm going to have a stronger team this year, and I know what things I did wrong. But I think for me, it's just, hey, choose better quarterback. I think my team will do better and stuff like that. And then one of the things you can't always plan for, which you can't make an excuse about, is how do you play through injuries? My thing is that, I think sometimes one of the biggest problems for some people is they overdraft too many players on the same team. I think that's one of my downfalls too. Is sometimes you want to have a good combo, but then when they're out, how do you make up for that?
And let's take a look from last season, who the number 1 overall pick was from the last season. If I could find the access to it, draft recap of 2023, it was the Dirty Birds. So, and let's take a look at all the number 1 picks from overall. Belmont Billionaires did not win a championship. 2014 did not win a championship. 2015 did not win I don't think he won a championship. 2016, no championship. 2017 did not win a championship. 2018, I wonder if 2018 if he won a championship. Nope, did not win a championship. 2019 did not win a championship. 2020 did not win a championship. 21, no championship. 22, no championship. And I won a championship off of the 10th pick. So it really just goes to show that the number 1 overall pick, you actually have, statistically speaking, a 0% chance to win a championship. So if you're Mike, would you be concerned for having the number 1 pick? Like, do you think this is a curse, or do you think this is just how things go?
I think it's the same thing in the NFL. You can't always bank on a number 1 pick. I think it's this year. I noticed this. I think it was New England Patriots drafted Drake May. I think it was like 3rd pick or something like that. And they might not even start him this year. They might start their 6th string quarterback. I think his name's Joe Milton or something like that from Tennessee. So hey, look, don't always expect your first round picks or your high picks to actually do really well, because how many actually like Super Bowl winning quarterbacks were number 1 draft pick? Or how many just players in general? Very few.
I guess so. Well, and also for the pick that you have, which is the 10th overall pick, would you like to reveal who you are going to pick as your 10th overall pick?
Yes, I would really love to reveal that. A kicker.
So basically, you're not going to reveal your pick.
No. If you believe
now, Mike, since you have the number 1 overall pick, and you can respond it in the chat because you are in the chat, Mike, do you have anyone in mind that you are going to draft as the number 1 overall pick? Do you have in mind?
I think they'll draft a quarterback. That's what I'm guessing.
Nobody drafts quarterbacks in the first round.
Yes,
I'm really curious who this guy's going to draft. I think
No, we've had it in our league before. Josh Allen was drafted in the first round.
Who did that?
I think it might have been. Was it Mike?
I'm going to take a look and see. Let's take a look at Mike's draft history, because I got to know how long he's been in the draft or been in this league. I think he started, when he was 24, he was known as the Macaroni and Cheese. Macaroni and Cheese. So he was in the league since last season, in 2023. Actually, last year was his 2022. Sorry, 22 was his rookie season. He drafted Pat Mahomes from the first round.
Yes.
Pat Mahomes, but Pat Mahomes was a guaranteed like 30 points a game, so couldn't really blame him for that. 23, he drafted in the very first round. Also, Pat Mahomes. He really loves Pat Mahomes. I can tell you that. Now it's just a matter of, will he draft Pat Mahomes again as the number 1 overall pick? That is yet to be seen. So I guess we'll see where it goes for Pat Mahomes. And if he ends up on Macaroni and Cheese's team.
Yeah, like I said, I know this stuff. I've paid attention to statistics and stuff. So I knew he drafted quarterbacks. I didn't know it was Pat Mahomes both times. I thought it was one of them was Josh Allen, but hey, it was, but that's
Pat Mahomes was. Now, how he did, macaroni and cheese was 6-8 in his rookie year, but amazingly, he only missed the playoffs by 1 game, and so did everyone else because the league was a huge parity in the 2022 season. Like when you were 1 through 11, it was anyone's game, and from 7 to 11 in the seeding, it was a 6-8 finish on each of them. 23 was not completely as competitive, but macaroni and cheese also missed the playoffs by just 1 game.
Mm-hmm.
And macaroni and cheese's season, shall we see? Mac and cheese. How did he do? He had a 3-3 start, then he went to 3-5. He pretty much didn't really do much of note. Now here was Epic C's season. You had a 4-1 start. It looked like things were going your way, but to be fair, your schedule was very lightweighted. You only played Alex, Mike. You beat the defending champ. You beat the champion Albert, which was pretty impressive, and you beat Nelson. Then you lost 5 in a row, including losing to me. And I wonder if that was the one where I started your winning streak. And then you lost. Then it looked like you were going to make it to the playoffs, but then you lost to the IR squad by a very slim margin. And then you lost to macaroni and cheese at the very end. Now, here is how my season went. First, I won the first game by just 1 point, 1.5 points. Then I lost 6 in a row, and I was 1-6. One of the worst teams in the league. I lost by 11, then 1, then 10. Then I lost by 60, then by 6. So I had quite a bit of beat-ups. Then Seattle Water Bottles gave me my second win. Then it was Max I beat in pretty impressive fashion. Then I beat you by 7. I beat the Dirty Birds in impressive fashion. I beat Godwin by 11. And then I had a huge victory against the Injigmus with Attitude ran by Anthony. And then I lost in the season finale. But, man, I could have gone all the way to 8-6. But I guess it worked out in my favor to... Because here's the thing, like, if I lost in the first... If I got to the... So I could have gotten to the 5th seed. I still would have won. And I still would have lost in the semifinal. So my fate was already going to be sealed anyway, but it was really impressive that I made it all the way to the semifinals off of a 1-6 start. And now with the 9th pick that I believe I have, I got to make something happen. And the draft is going to be sometime in September, of course. Haven't really set the date yet, but we will keep updated. Maybe there's a small chance we'll do like some kind of a draft lottery, a draft watch party or something, but not sure. I'm either going to do a draft on my computer like this, or I'm probably going to end up doing it like at a sports bar. So who knows? But that's going to do it. I just want to say thank you for being on the show. Thank you for bearing with me with all these cards. And all the spinnings and all the ridiculous shows that I showed you. But it was fun, and Epic C Films, I hopefully we'll connect a lot throughout the season like we did last season, because it was a key to get to my first 1,000 subscribers. So I'll keep you guys updated on that as well. And everyone, I just want to say have a good night, get a good night's sleep, and everyone, go Hawks.
Yeah, interesting fact last season, Joe Flacco had better average fantasy number than Patrick Mahomes. Joe Flacco.
Now he's on the Colts.
Yes. So that was an interesting fact. But don't drink. And have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful day.
Wonderful day we shall. Everyone have a good night, everyone.